So today we are going to learn about union node pruning in HANA calculation views. Okay, so what is this union node pruning in HANA native HANA calculation view? Okay, so union node pruning allows the data sources in union nodes to be pruned. Okay, so means actually this is applies only on the union nodes. Okay, and this helps to reduce resource consumption and benefits performance. So if we apply pruning mechanism on a calculation view, then it reduces the resource consumption and benefits in the performance of the calculation view. So we see in detail what exactly this reduction in the resource consumption. Okay, and how exactly this pruning is applied. It is based upon defined criteria that at runtime, means we will define a criteria which works at runtime, to reduce this resource consumption. So we will see this in detail with an example. Initially I will explain one example how exactly it works, and then I will show you on the system too. And basically this union node pruning is having two different, we can do it in two different ways. One is constant mapping, another one is pruning via using pruning configuration table. In our today's session, I will explain on the example with the constant mapping, and on our next session we see with the pruning configuration table. Okay, so let's go to the Excel sheet for a small little bit explanation. Okay, so to explain this scenario, as said here, this particular pruning is available only on the union node. Okay, in the HANA calculation view, when we use union nodes, when we want to join two different data sets of similar kind of structure, then we go with the union node. Okay, at least we try to bring one similar kind of structure from different source tables. Okay, so for that reason what I am doing here, I am taking a table here where it stores Indian country data, and I have another table where I am storing my German country data. Okay, and both the tables having similar structure. So here this table is having almost 5 to 6 columns, and my another table also having 6 columns. In my first table I am storing data, all this data related to country India. In my second table I am storing data, and all this data is related to a different country, that is German country. Okay, so now what I am trying to do, I am combining these two data sets to create my sales report, because we create one report which works for all countries, but based upon the selection, data comes from the corresponding country or corresponding columns. Okay, when I design my calculation view on these two tables, how I will design, I will create one projection node, and I will keep my first table, and I will create another projection one with second table, and I will do my union. So let's jump into the calculation view creation. In my HANA side, I have two tables. One is T1 sales and another one is T2 sales. On T1 sales, I have data from country India. You see all these records are from country India. And my T2 sales is another table in my database where it stores all my German country data, DE. I am giving the code as a DE for Germany. Next, so now I am going to create one calculation view. I am going to calculation view section, create new, CV underscore sales underscore pruning example. Okay, I am creating a simple calculation view. So to bring my table information into my calculation view, I need a projection. Okay, I am bringing one projection into my design, and I am adding my first table, which is T1 sales, and this T1 sales table contains India country in data. So what, for that reason, what I am, first of all, I am adding all my columns into my output, and then I am changing my projection node name as sales underscore IN. Okay, which means the sales information from India country, and I'm adding one more projection into my design and adding this T2 underscore sales. From here also I am adding all my data into output column, and I am changing my projection node name to sales underscore DE, where I store German country information. Okay, now I am doing union, so I am adding union node to my projection and adding say from say Indian projection and this projection to both the unions, and by using this auto map by name option I'm simply adding it onto output, and then I'm mapping my union node to my aggregation node. In my aggregation node also I'm adding all to the output, and I'm realigning my columns in my aggregation node, bringing all key figures to the last, and then units on top of it. Now going to semantic node, auto assign of my columns, and then go to properties, remove the analytical privileges as it was a demo, then go to activate. I activated my calculation view. So let's see whether it is activated successfully. Yeah, it is activated successfully. Okay, so next what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a data preview. So to do a data preview, I'm right clicking on my calculation view, generate select SQL, and then click on execute. You can see data coming from both the tables, that's why country, DEIN, both are I can see here. Okay, for example, if I am giving my where condition on this particular CV on country IN, country is equal to IN. So if I provide country is equal to IN and execute, what happens? The system will fetch data only from the left side node. It means when I'm providing my where condition on country IN, then system is fetching data from my which kind of the projection node, this one. It means system is not processing this one, it's not. System will process both the table, both the projection nodes. Since my where condition satisfying data from this projection node, you are seeing only data from here. So how I can say system is processing both my tables? So if I select your select query, right click on it, go to explain plan. Explain plan will explain you how exactly this particular CV execution starts from top to bottom. Okay, if you see on the bottom, initially bottom, there are two tables, column tables, T1 sales, T2 sales. These two are varied by country is equal to IN selection, and because data coming from this T1 sales only having IN data, after the union aggregation projection you are getting the output. So when you are sending some selection on country, but system in the back end, system is processing both the tables, and then it is fetching data from only one table. It means in real-time scenario, our tables may contain millions of records. Okay, for example, 1 million records on first table and another million records on second table. Second table, whatever 1 million records data processing time it taken, it is waste of time, because country IN definitely won't satisfy any of the record from this node. Okay, but when we apply pruning mechanism on this calculation view, then what happens? System no more process this particular node. It means whatever 1 million processing time taking, system is taking to process this particular node, we are benefiting that performance, that runtime. That's why in the pruning it said this if you apply the pruning mechanism on union node, this helps to reduce the resource consumption, because these are two different resources to this calculation view, and if you apply pruning, then you can eliminate this processing from the at runtime based upon the selection, whatever it may be, whatever selection you passing, based upon selection only the required nodes will be processed and the other nodes will be ignored, which helps in reduction of resources and increase the performance. Okay, we will see that in practical. So how to apply this constant pruning in our calculation view? Go to union node. In the union node, you need to create one extra column. Okay, apart from the data coming from your individual projection nodes, you need to create one extra column in your union node. So how to create an extra column in your union node? So by little bit expand like this, there is a plus symbol here, right? Create target. By clicking on this plus symbol, you can create a new column. So I am creating a new column called country underscore new. Okay, and of length 2. Click on OK. So this country new is now a constant column in my union node. It's a constant column. Why I am saying constant? I am going to manage mappings of this particular column, and I am providing constants for the data. which is coming from this sales underscore DE node, I am providing a constant called DE, and for the data coming from sales underscore IN, how much data it comes, for all the data I am providing a constant called IN. So this is just like our constant mapping in our BW transformations. Okay, for all the records coming from this node, this particular country underscore new filled with IN, and for all the records coming from this from this right side node, filled with not right side node but sales underscore DE node fills with DE country. Okay, so now go to aggregation. So enable this particular country new also in your calculation view, and let's bring this to a little bit up just for our formatting point of view, and then activate your calculation view. So what we did on the union node, we created one constant mapping column, and we did constant mapping also, and then we bring that column till the aggregation semantics. Okay, now what I am going to do, I am creating a generate select SQL on this particular CV. Now I am applying my where condition. Earlier I had tried to apply my where condition on the country column, correct? Now instead of country column, I am applying my now where condition on my constant column which I created on the union node. Okay, so country underscore new is equal to IN. Now try to explain the plan. Right click on the select the select statement, right click, explain plan. Now see, there is a difference between the earlier one and now one. Now in this explain plan, system is only fetching data from my table. Which table? T1 underscore sales. There is no select statement going on my T2 sales at all. Earlier, this is the earlier screenshot where I don't have this new column. In here, system is trying to process both the tables, and at the end system is fetching data from only one table. But after applying pruning, system directly processing only the required table. Okay, it's not touching the other table at all. It means it is excluding the other tables from the processing, which benefits in the runtime performance. Okay, so which table it is processing? T1 sales. Why exactly system process T1 sales only? Because my where condition in my select statement, on the where condition, I processed a filter on my newly created constant column. In this newly created constant column, this IN filter was applied to which column? I applied to this projection node. I applied this IN filter. So right click on it, manage mappings. You see IN filter was applied to sales underscore IN node, which internally contains brings data from T1 sales. That's why based upon this constant mapping, system is processing only the required nodes. Okay, now what I will do, I will I am changing my IN country filter to DG, and then right click on it, go to explain plan. Now see, now it got changed. Now this time system is processing only T2 sales where it contains DE information. Okay, it is not processing the other projection node. So this is how exactly pruning configuration works, constant pruning mapping works in the HANA calculation views. So by using this pruning, we can eliminate the unnecessary nodes processing from the calculation view, at a union level. So the best examples for applying this pruning is at the time of archiving process, and if we have data of same structure with the different countries having different tables, then also you can use this pruning configuration. For example, if you have separate tables for countries, different physical years, then also you can apply this pruning configuration, constant pruning. Yeah, that's it. So at the time in interviews, if they are asking what are the real-time examples for applying pruning, is one is for archiving. So how exactly archiving this constant pruning helps? What you can do, you can store one table data which contains nearly current data, and you can create another table where you can store archived historical data, and by passing your constant filter X or Y something on based upon the selection what user is giving, you can eliminate unnecessary node processing. Okay, you need to little bit design it in such a way so that it fetches only data from one table. But if whenever user provides the selection of both tables, your design must be in a proper way. Okay, so this is what about constant pruning. So in our next session we will discuss about how to configure pruning using pruning configuration table. Okay, I hope it is understandable. I'm stopping recording.